I'm Christy. Today I want to talk to you about extracurricular activities and friends make life better. So as we watch our kids grow into adults, we don't often think about what activities they'll be involved in or they'll participate in as adults. And yet when your loved one has special needs, we find that they often continue the routines that we established for them growing up. In many ways, I'd say that AJ has been minimally impacted by all of the isolation of COVID-19, and I'm grateful. But as time marches on, I'm discovering that he has been impacted, just like the rest of us. Now, the big area that I see him most impacted is that he is less interested in doing things outside the home. Now, I should say that this isn't totally due to COVID isolation or quarantine. We saw this happening over the past few years. He's been less and less interested in participating in Special Olympics, something that he really enjoyed for a few years. But as time has gone on, it's been harder and harder to get him to participate in the sports that he was joining in before. It almost seems like he's got been there, done that type of mentality. Now, after almost a year and a half of not going to church, we couldn't get him to go to church with us when we returned a few weeks ago. Admittedly, I suspect that part of his hesitation is that we're switching churches, and so he's got to go somewhere new. Now, I can't exactly blame him for that, but we still really want him to go with us. On the positive side, he returned to work full-time, and he's really enjoying that. He started a new rotation, and he's really excited to start that, which I was also really grateful for, especially because the bus arrives about 6 o'clock or shortly thereafter, and he does a pretty good job of getting himself ready without much effort on my part. But all of this not wanting to leave the house to do things has gotten me thinking more about the kind of life that I want him to live. I don't expect him to be out and about every single day outside of work. I understand that he enjoys his downtime at home. My husband and I do as well. It's how we live our lives. We don't like to have things to do every single evening after a day of work or some other activity. At the same time, I would like to see him involved in one or two activities that meet on a consistent basis. Things he enjoys, things that will engage his attention and keep him active in life. Now, honestly, that's part of the appeal of a group home or living community for us. They offer social activities on a regular basis. And as he makes friends there, my hope is that he'll choose to do those activities with them. I suspect that'll be the case. Now, what activities he chooses to participate in is really up to him. Obviously, there are some parameters while he's living with us, and I definitely have some preferences once he's out on his own, even though I realize I'll have less say in the matter then. I'd really like him to find a church to be involved in. It's how my husband and I were both raised and how we've raised the boys. Church is an integral part of our lives, and I'd like to see that continue to be true for AJ. But whether or not that happens, we'll have to wait and see. Aside from that, I'm pretty flexible. I just really like to see one or two activities become a regular part of his routine. Now, friends is another area where I think moving out of our house will help AJ immensely. Putting him in a more social environment will encourage and maybe force him to meet new people and develop new friends. Again, this is part of the appeal of a group home or a living community. Now, I'm grateful that he makes friends relatively easily. He's made a number of new friends in his work skills program. Now, not that I've met any of them, but he comes home and talks about them as if we know exactly who he's talking about. And that's a lot of the reason that I'm excited for him to move into his own place. Not only will it give him the independence he longs for, but my hope is that it will also give him a more active social life to keep him engaged and active, as well as provide new friends to do those activities with. Now, in the end, isn't that what we all want for our loved ones? A life that is full, active, engaged, and full of friends? Yeah, I kind of thought so. So my question for you this week is this. What do you envision your loved one's life looking like? What activities would you like them to be involved in? I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can leave me a comment below, or you can leave me a comment over on the blog. That's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in August of 2021. If you prefer, you could also email me at Christy, Christy, at havenofhopeforme.com. I'm looking forward to seeing AJ's future activity choices so that I can continue to say that life is good and there is never a dull moment.